Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to the GlowUp vlog. Let's get into it. What was a seemingly inconsequential decision that made a big impact in your life? Inconsequential. Can we just look that word up really quick? All right. And for those of you who don't know, this is called a dictionary. Back in my day, this is how we found out what a word meant. Okay. Inconsequential, without consequence, lack of importance, petty. That's exactly what I thought it meant. Great. So at a previous job, not the job that I currently have, because I learned my lesson, I was hired on as like a secretary, all between the ages of 18 and 22 at the time. But the lady who was over the entirety of the program, the director or whatever you want to call it, I mean, she was old enough to be my mother. And long story short, eventually our interactions became like a clique. We were kind of clicked up, but I'm always around her. So I would, I'm not gonna lie, I would kiki. It was hard not to kiki. We're literally sitting in a room together for 8 hours. And it seemed small. I soon realized it was a horrible thing to not cut that conversation off and redirect it to something more professional and productive. Because when I tell you it got messy, and I left that job because of the environment that was created, with assistance of my own participation. It got to a point where we had a new lady come on. She was just a very shy, introverted person, and her personality did not mesh with the dynamics that were already established in the office. And so at some point, my supervisor started to have meetings, and the agenda would be this lady's personal life. And that's when I started to feel uncomfortable. That's when a flag that had already been waving started blinking, beeping, and pulled, my manager to the side. I'm like, hey, this is wrong, right? Mind you, this is my first office job. I really didn't know the dynamics. I was a huge Bad Girls Club fan, and I thought maybe this is how the shit be working. I started to ask her, like, hey, this doesn't feel right. I really don't want to be in these meetings. If you want to talk to her, then you could just talk to her. That should be between the two of you. I have no reason to be here. Well, I need you to take the minutes. Minutes? Is this a legit meeting? And so, long story short, the introverted lady was actually recording these meetings secretly and brought the recordings to me and said, hey, I know you're a nice person. You look extremely uncomfortable. I want you to listen to these recordings that I have. Because I wouldn't really speak in the meetings. I was truly just taking minutes. And I want you to transcribe these recordings because I'm going to submit them to get this lady fired. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't want no parts in this actually. Because I do feel bad because what she's doing is wrong, and it looks wrong, and it feels wrong, and it has to be wrong. Like, it just doesn't sit well with me. I transcribed the tapes for her, and we slid them under the desk of the person over all of us. And long story short, the lady still had her job. She never got fired. The introverted lady stayed there and worked there. She never left. And me, I bounced. As soon as that envelope slid past the light of the door, I said, look, y'all, I'm putting in my 2 weeks right behind that motherfucker. As soon as you finish reading these transcripts, could you read that next page? Because that's my resignation. I'm leaving. This is too messy for me. So what initially started out as me being friendly, turned into something that was way, way, way inappropriate. And I regret doing that, but I learned a lesson. I try to choose my friends wisely. We're not friends just because we sit together all the time. I do have friends at work. However, I do keep it, there's a fine line. We're friends here. If we hang out separate, cool, but I gotta check your vibe before I start calling you my friend and kikiing with you. I refrain from talking about others that I work with because I work with them. And it really doesn't matter what my opinion of them is if they're not inflicting on me and who I am and what I'm trying to do at work. If they're just there and I'm picking on them because of who they are, that's fucked up. It's wrong. It feels wrong. I don't like to do it. I don't like to listen and encourage others to do it. If people are around me talking about my coworkers, you can ask anybody here. Not in my last job, child. I let it go. I let it fly. But here I say, you know what? Look, that's my girl, and really, truly, she's a good person. Or that dude is cool. He's so chill. He'll never bother nobody. Look, why don't you just tell him how you feel? And usually that person should get the hint. Don't do that. Don't continue this conversation with me. I know this person. Even if I don't know that person. I'd be like, well, you know, I met them and they were fine. I never got that impression from them. But anyway, so I really wanted to talk to you about this project that we have coming up, because the deadline is, you know, I changed that shit. I don't want to be in no mess. I love where I work. I genuinely do appreciate all of the people that I work with and their different personalities, because everyone is here for the same thing for the most part. You got a couple people that are slackers, but personality wise, everybody cool. And if they not, I don't care. I don't have to live with you, you know? I don't have to see you when I clock out, you know? And if I want to see you when I clock out, I will. So with that is my inconsequential decision that actually made a big impact on my life. It truly changed the way that I work, the way that I interact with coworkers, and the way that I treat people, especially when I'm around other people. I learned not to let others influence my judgment or my behavior. Peace, y'all. See you tomorrow.